Hi guys, welcome to my video. Happy MLK Day everyone. Today I will be drawing his face. This is a picture I drew of myself some time ago now, but now we'll be focusing on MLK's face, but this is just a little sneak peek so you can see a little bit what it'll look like. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and without further ado, let's get started. Now let's start by drawing the basics. So if you envision MLK's face, it was, well, no, not like that, sorry. And just a note, make sure not to draw too hard. Press your pencil down not that much, because in the end there are going to be a bunch of things we need to erase, and it won't look good if you have a bunch of lines just in between. Back to the video. First you just want to start out with a big U. I know this may seem ridiculous, but just keep going over that U very lightly. I'm using a mechanical pencil right now, but you guys don't have to be using that. A mechanical pencil is not the only way to do this. A mechanical pencil just helps me draw lightly, because when I write, I tend to press down on the pen a little hard. Now, when you're done with that, think more of the exact shape. To help us with that, I'm going to pull up a picture on my phone. This is the picture I pulled up, and as you can see, his face is kind of round, and then it comes to a somewhat flat point at the bottom chin. Now, let's start back with the picture. Okay, now let's continue. Now we're going to do a little more detail. You're going to start at the U, but you're going to kind of do more of a face shape. So instead of just doing a U, try to curve in like a chin. Once you do that, connect the two pieces. I know it might be difficult to tell what I'm drawing right now, which lines are supposed to be standing out, but when you're doing this on your own, you'll be able to see the lines that are standing out. Okay, now you can see that I have somewhat of a bold line going right here down to a chin and back up. You can erase the rest of the lines if it helps you more, or you can keep it that way. I'm going to erase it just so that it's easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. Now you can see that this U looks a lot more like a face. Now, there are three things you need to do. If it helps, put your paper sideways. This will help me draw it easier, so you guys might want to do this because makes it easier to understand. I have a ruler which I keep in my art bag. By the way, be sure to check out that video because art bags are very helpful. Now we're going to split this into 3 sections. The top section is going to be the closest to the top. Make sure not to draw too rough on this. Draw very lightly. You'll see why later. The second section is going to be right here. It's going to be kind of even. Draw very lightly right there. The third section is going to be down here by the chin. Draw very lightly down there. Now as you can see, these sections, these two might look closer to even and this one might not be, but that is completely fine. It doesn't matter if they're even because we're not even halfway done yet. Now the first thing is the eye lines. The eye lines are the most important because they pretty much help measure out everything else. So when we do the eye lines, we're going to start, and you can use a ruler for this or you cannot. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to use a ruler. Put the ruler in the middle of the face, or just draw 2 lines that are the same length away that the ruler would be. Then scoot the ruler a little bit to the left, or sorry, this is my right, maybe it might be your left, and draw a little dash. Then scoot the ruler a little bit to the right, and right there. These do not have to be on the same level, but it helps a little bit if they are. Next, we're going to measure from there. Depending on how big his eyes were, which it's not like they were super big or anything. Sorry, that was my phone. Let me check that message real quick. Okay, sorry about that interruption. I may get interrupted quite a bit during this video. Now you're going to put 2 more dashes on the other side of each dash. This is going to be how big the eyes are, so you might want to keep it as even as possible. Now you see where the two middle parts of the eye are. You're just going to draw little lines right down through the middle section. And again, make sure you're not drawing too heavy. Make sure you do it really lightly. Now, before we continue, let's do the eyes. You're just going to do like ovals here. Make sure you draw lightly because this is going to be like how we did the face. It helps me if I turn the paper sideways, so that's what I'm going to do. But if it doesn't help you guys, you don't have to do this. Here is one eye I have so far. Now we're going to do the same thing with the other side. Now both of our eyes are done. Let's continue. What you need to do next is look for the middle of each of your eyes and do the dashed lines all the way down to the next level. Okay, now we're going to do the nose. Now how I was taught to do the nose, it's a little weird, honestly, the first couple of times, but when you're done, hopefully it won't be that, weird afterwards. The first time I drew this, though, it looked really weird to me. So please don't be weirded out when we draw this. Now with the nose, we're going to do a circle. This might seem weird as the circle isn't that big and looks nothing like a nose, but don't worry, we're about to get there. So if you hear any weird noises or squeaking noises, that is just the noises of my house around me. Now that we're done with the nose, we are going to do a hump next on either side of the nose. Try to keep them the same, but if it's not the same, that's completely fine. No one's perfect. It might take you several tries to get both of them right, so take as long as you need, even pause this video if necessary. When you're done, you're going to come down and around the nose. And keep tracing over that figure. Now, after you're done, you're going to make the ends go down a little deeper. After you're done with that, go to the middle of each nostril, come down, and then come back up. Again, try to make sure this nose is as symmetrical as possible. When you're done with this part, you can erase the rest of the circle. We're done with that. Erase any unnecessary lines, as this could end up confusing you. Now, once you get your lines up to here, which is this middle line right here, come up. Sorry, this side looks a little bad over here. I'm trying to fix that. And you're going to keep going up. Now, the nose, it might look like it's good for it to stop here, but you'd be wrong. You're going to go all the way up and around. By around, I mean just at the beginning of where the eyebrows would be. Now, before we continue the rest of the nose, let's go on to another body part. Now let's continue. Where you are at the nose, you're going to draw little dots or dashes, which is going to later be the eyebrows. By the way, in one of my future videos, I will do just how to draw someone's face in general and not specifically MLK's. Okay, now that we're done with that, we're going to take your nose right here and you're going to draw a little dotted line down. Not dotted, but dashed. And you already have these lines from the corner of the eyes. That's all you need right now. Now on this bottom line, all you have to do is draw a little dash right here that makes a thick part in the line. That's all you needed. Now up here, you're going to need a little dash as well. And right here, you're going to draw a circle. And right here, you're going to draw a circle. Now over here, you're going to make sure that you have the corners of the lips. Now that we're done with that, let's continue. First, you're going to just a little bit of line on each side, and you're going to come down, and we're drawing lightly on this part. I'm just doing it a little heavier so that you guys can see. Coming down on each side. And then coming up and meeting the middle of that dash. These lips probably look really weird right now, but don't worry, we're about to modify them. Now do a thick line down to the dash. Round it off and come back up. It makes it easier for me if I rotate my paper, but you guys don't have to do that. There. Now we have our bottom lip. Now right here, we're going to draw a little U. And we're going to look at another image of MLK. Now we're going to look at the top lip. I'm trying to zoom in as much as I can, but my phone is being a little stubborn today. Anyway, if you look at the top part of the lip, it comes up, drips down, comes back up, and is pretty much a straight line back to the corner of the mouth. We are going to do that. Comes up and pretty much is a straight line back to the corner of the mouth. We're going to do that with the other side now. And I'm sorry I'm rotating my paper so much. That's just what helps me. And now let's move on. Okay, now for the middle of the mouth, we will, whoops, my cord is in your way. I am so sorry, people. Okay, now for the middle of your mouth, we'll draw just a straight line, which you can make a dash right here if that helps you. The line doesn't have to be entirely straight. It just has to go from point A to point B. Now, let's look at another picture of MLK to get more info. Okay, now you can see that the lips, they come up, come down, and then go back up. Now let's do that over here. They come up, come down, and come back up. This is just a rough draft because if anyone had lips like these, that would be pretty hard to draw. Come up, come down, come back up. Come up, come down, come back up. Erase any unnecessary lines on this point. You don't want to be confused. Come up, come down, and come back up. Just remember that. Okay. Now you can erase the other excess lines, and we now have his mouth. Voila, people, and that's how you do it. Okay, continuing on to the rest of the face now. So we're going to do his eyes. Now before we do the eyes, like the pupils, we need to fix this eye. This eye is just, this eye is just an oval. Now we're going to do the almond-shaped eye, where you start at one point, come up and go around, and end back at that same point. Draw this over and over again and try not to mess up. But then again, if you mess up, you have pencil. Hopefully you're using pencil. So if you do mess up, just erase and go back again. This is one eye we are done with, and now I'm going to erase all of the excess lines. Not all of them, obviously, because you still see some lines, but we're going to erase them. So now you see this eye compared to this eye. We're going to try to make that the same. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to start at the outside, come up, come down, and come back up. Make sure not to make this bigger than the other eye, or at least try not to. We're trying to make them as similar as possible. I know it's not easy because you did that other eye first, but let's at least try to get it that way. Now, as you can see, this eye is way bigger than that one, so we're going to erase up here and keep going. Sorry if you're talking in the background. That is my sister and my dad. Okay, now you can see that these eyes look more similar. They're still not perfect, but hey, no one's perfect. So I'm going to go on here so that this video doesn't end up being too long. Now, when it comes to the iris of the eye, which the iris is the colored part of the eye, you start at the beginning, make a circle, and come back up. Sorry if you're talking in the background. Again, that's my sister and my dad. They joke around a lot. Now the next eye. Okay, and whoops, pencil, okay. Again, erase any unnecessary lines that might confuse you. Here are the eyes that we have so far. Okay, this is ending up going really well so far. Now all we have to do is do the pupil in the middle, which isn't that hard. All you have to do is color in a little circle. And there you have it. Now we're going to look at another picture to see where the beard and little goatee go. I'm pretty sure it's a goatee, but let's see. But before that, let's do the ears. Now the ears should be from a little bit below the eyes to right before the mouth. A little bit under the eye and a little bit before the mouth. Okay. Now we can look at the picture of MLK. So far you can probably somewhat see a resemblance. So the mustache. And then, oh, there is no beard. My bad. I thought he had a beard. Okay, now let's go and draw that mustache. As you can see from the picture, the mustache always starts right here unless you have a person who has a mustache that's not like that. And you can do it like this, where you're scribbling it in, which this makes it harder for me, but I'll do it for those of you who it's not difficult. That's a little bit, actually, I'm not going to do this because this is just really hard. But anyway, as you can see from the mustache, we're going to start in the middle. And the basic shape is it starts and it goes down, and then it ends with the other point. And then we do that on the other side. It starts, goes down. This is just a rough draft. Now we can actually do the curves and all the little details. Okay, and now we can scribble in. Make sure that the scribbles aren't too far outside the line. There you go, and there you have it, the mustache. You can add more hairs on the outside if you want to make it look more and more realistic. There we go. Now we have most of him right here. Okay, we're going to continue with the eyebrows. The eyebrows, you just start at each line. And you do that. You pretty much go off. Let me do that again, in case you guys didn't see that. And depending on how long they are and all those details, that's how you'll make them. Okay, we'll probably come back to those later. Now, as you can see, we have most of the basics of MLK's face. Now all we need is the hair. Now the hair always goes above the head. It always starts below and goes above, like that. So now we're going to take a look at his haircut at that time in the picture and copy that onto our paper. The hair right here, it kind of goes like, whoops, oh, my computer, I need to refix that. Okay, the hair, in case you can't tell, it goes a little bit like this. It starts at the end, it comes up, and then comes a little dip in the middle, and then do the same thing on the other side. And there we have a rough draft for our hair. Now let's turn this off, put it to the side, and keep going with our hairline. Make sure it's not very, it's very curvy, you know? Because if it's too pointy, then it won't really look like his hairstyle. Now we can finish the hair, finish the head. Since we have our hair, all we have to do is add a little bit of texture. To a regular person's head, don't make any weird shapes, just so that it doesn't end up looking really weird. And there you have the hair. You can color it in or still use texture. This is what it looks like if you color it in, and this is what it would look like if you use texture. I'm not going to color it in just for right now because we still have more work to do. By the way, sorry about all the background noise if you hear that. Now let's color this in. I got out my art set, and now let's start coloring. I don't have brown and markers or colored pencils for some very strange reason, so yes, I am using a crayon. This is a very strange shade of brown, but but this is the only color I have right now. I can't believe I ran out of brown. Wow. I'll continue this while you guys do this at home. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to use your black marker or colored pencil. I could use marker, but I'm going to use colored pencil. These pencils. Okay. I'm going to use pencil though, and make sure to outline the details, like the nose. You don't want to color over that. And just make sure to do this with all your details to make sure you don't accidentally color over them and then you don't see them anymore. Also, make sure to erase the 3 lines that we did at the very beginning of the video. If you do that, it might, you can't really erase the pencil when it's under the crayon, and you might also mess up your eraser trying to do that. Okay, where's my crayon? Here we go. And let's continue coloring. When it comes to the eyes, make sure to just do a smooth pattern around them. Otherwise, it could end up looking pretty strange. Make sure not to do an outline around the eyes, as this could end up looking very weird. Just keep the eyes the way they are and color around them. I finally finished the face. Now I'm going to move on to the hair. Hair is done. Let's move on to the ears. Now that we're done with that, I'm going to take one of these colors once I decide. I think I'm going to do this one. No, that's too feminine. Okay, I'm going to try this fire engine color on his lips. That looks about right. Oops, almost forgot. I've got to do this colored pencil step. Okay, it's done. And in case you haven't realized, all of the outlinings I've done with black colored pencil, not black crayon, just so that you all can take note. Okay, now let's move on to the eyes. The eyes will remain light. The pupils, I found a really dark brown just now. Dang it, this could have been his skin color. How come I couldn't find this back when I was doing it? Anyway, usually his eyes are darker brown than this. This is a really light brown. I'm trying to make it darker by using some black. And then I'm going to add some brown on top. Like this. To make it a tad bit lighter. There, that looks a little closer to his actual eye color. Now I'm going to use this marker and make the pupil. And folks, there you have it. I'm sorry I didn't have the right colors. I came completely unprepared, but if you just drew him, at least you get the point that drawing him makes a lot more sense than this drawing. I hope you enjoyed this video, and happy MLK Day. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye!